2019, or should I say settled in 2019, and is now one of the best young players in the world.
And interesting to look at the fan vote there, an overwhelming majority.
Love, 1. One, oh.
She's a defensive mastermind, Seo-Hyun. She's a modern defender as well. She'll come in and she will attack balls that are a little bit lukewarm. So you've got to be careful with your touch and push play. It's good quality.
2-1.
And how will Yang Zi-Liu tactically play against a defensive? It's notoriously difficult, isn't it, to play against a defender? It's so frustrating. And how will you approach this one?
1-3.
I think she'll look to vary the play. I doubt she'll try and attack everything, perhaps attack a few, then try and dink it short, test the in and out footwork as well as the lateral transitions. Let's see how she can return the high toss serve. Oh, that was brilliant, just a bit bouncy there, and she came through flat. A lot of players struggle with this high toss backhand serve of Seo-Hyun.
4-2.
Didn't deal with it quite so well that second time, but you could see what the plan was.
See, it's just absolutely butchered with backspin, that chop. She can chop with the forehand as well. Sometimes she'll try and fish the ball. Nice wide service.
3,
Clever
5.
play.
That was nicely done. Gets the point finished off quickly.
Looking to be proactive here. I'm not seeing so many yet, perhaps because it's a first time meeting and they're both just testing the waters, but I expect to see some long rallies here, Rebecca. Whoa, not far away.
7-3.
It is so difficult, though, isn't it, to play against these defensive players who just slow everything down. It's exhausting, isn't it, to get drawn into these rallies?
It is. That's the right way to say it. You know, drawn in, sucked in. Just because you're the player who has more time. Oh, amazing.
8-3.
Unbelievable. You don't want to talk over these fantastic points, but it's quite easy, knowing you're the attacker against the chopper, to fall into the trap of feeling like you have some kind of divine right to win the rally. Your eyes can light up before you try and make a winner. But that can be the thing that sort of blinds you.
9.
Some fantastic choppers in the women's game. Honoka Hashimoto, Hitomi Sato, and Ying, as I mentioned. Linda Bergström of Sweden. There's just so many. Seo-Hyun, the best Korean defender.
Yeah, and it's great to see that variety as well in playing styles across the board. But it's 7 game points early on for Yang Zi-Liu, who's dealt well with the defensive style of her opponent.
She's been brilliant here.
11-3. Game
11 points to 3. It's a very, very convincing win in the opening game for the Australian. Dealt so well with those slow, spinny shots.
Yeah, I mean, she won a lot of points under the radar there. Managing to basically completely shut down Seo-Hyun's game, which I'm quite surprised. But what a first game that was from Yang Zi-Liu.
Love, 1.
Coach, I heard, telling her in that intermission not to try and win the point too early. Construct the rally until it's a clear-cut opportunity to try and finish.
1.
Yeah, like you were saying, Fraser, it's just a matter of being patient, and this is a real test of patience.
They're both such momentum players. I mean, we're still not seeing the Sergio one that we know and love. Oh, wow. What can you do, though? There she smothered Sergio one, playing it into the middle. Here you saw it. Sergio one couldn't make as good of a quality chop. It was amazing she got that second one back, but the Australian put the cherry on top.
Yeah, it was a really cleverly constructed point lesser there, of course, into the net. But yeah, she's been very impressive.
A few of these serves of Sergio one just look a little bit bouncy. That one bouncy enough to tempt the Australian in, but very spinny.
Well, it's like a game of cat and mouse, Fraser. These tentative rallies before one player decides to make the move, the attacking player, but she couldn't quite connect with that one.
It was like a game of hot potato there. You wonder when it was going to sort of explode. Sergio one's crafty with her chop. She'll sometimes increase the speed, sometimes make them floatier by opening the racket a little bit more upon the point of contact. Sometimes she'll do something wacky with the after motion as well to try and sort of put her opponent off. So I think she has to try and look to vary her chops a bit more than what she did in the first game.
5-2.
Well, that's something we don't see too often from Sergio one.
Percentage-wise, not as often as a chop, but as I say, she will attack it if it is fairly attackable. There she goes again.
6.
Yeah, she's figured out the winning formula with that one. Moves 4 points clear here and looking a lot better in this second game. Slow to start, but looks as though she's figuring out the lay of the land at the moment.
Two, 7.
Yeah, I think Leo's getting drawn in here. She needs to look to go from a reactive state into a proactive state. Can't afford to act too prematurely.
8-3.
I think that's what she was trying to do, Fraser, but forced into the error by that great defense from the Korean.
It's unbelievable. The smoothness of these chops. It's such an elegant style.
4-9.
Now we see what Leo can do with the short pips, punching through. Maybe we should see more long serves from her. She can get into the open play earlier, and maybe by serving long backspin or long float, get a ball which she can drive through a bit easier than a long topspin serve or a tight serve, which Sergio one can really chop with a lot of backspin.
5. Stop. Turn 5. 6, 10.
Well, first of 5 game points saved.
Eleven, 6.
Couldn't save any more though. 11 points to 6. Sergio one evens things out in this women's singles round of 32. She's figured out the game plan, I think, Fraser. See what happens in this third game, because it was all the way of the Australian in the first. Sergio one took a while to get going, but really got into a rhythm in the second.
Love 1.
You know, the first WTT meeting between this pair, you said at the start, it's just a case of figuring each other out before it really gets going. You get the sense now in game 3 that this could be where it really does get going.
Love.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I was wrong when I said that I don't think we'll see a game more comprehensive than the first. As well, a good factor to mention is that it's only the third world-class chopper that Yang Liu is playing,
2-1.
has played in her career.
And that's difficult, isn't it, Fraser? Because it's such a rare playing style. It's not like you get the practice against these players.
Yeah, you won't have a training partner who can completely replicate what Seohyewon can do at the table.
4.
But it's a matter of just staying calm here if you're Yang Liu. Stress management. There will be some balls like that one that you feel like you should make, that you don't. Doesn't mean that the intention wasn't right, just means that perhaps you lost posture on your shot. That's a nice one, but that last push there just wasn't enough. Couldn't stop Seohyewon from swooping in.
It was an interesting point, wasn't it? We saw Seohyewon in midway through that rally with a really strong, aggressive attacking shot. It was returned, so she reverted to the defensive play and then decided to strike again. It's fascinating to watch these defensive players.
It really is.
3-4.
I wouldn't call Yang Liu a sort of flair player. She has elements of creativity to her game, but Seohyewon is so good at reading and anticipating the direction of play. That's really well put away there from Yang Liu. You have to sometimes be able to sort of break your wrist just before you make contact with the ball to misguide your opponent, lull them into a false sense of security, go the other way.
And that was nicely done. It's exactly what she did there again.
Much more proactive on the receive there. She punched through the serve with the short pips. She rolls this one over.
5-all.
Can bait you the Seohyewon chop because it's high enough to tempt you into attack it, but backspinny enough to make it tricky. So you've got to still stay low if you're Yang Liu.
6-5.
That was superbly done, and that's exactly what she did.
Yeah, not an easy shot to put away like that. You can hear Seohyewon just putting absolutely everything into that. Love it. That exasperation.
And it's the change of direction as well.
Yeah.
Didn't go down the table, decided to go across the diagonal. It was really quite an inspired point.
Seven, 6.
Just sizzling. I mean, on those ones, you can barely hear about making contact with the ball because she's hitting it so finely. Really important juncture of the game now. And you were right, Rebecca.
7-all.
This is probably going to be the game where things get really nip and tuck.
Yeah, it was a really convincing win for the Australian in the first. 11-3, 11-6 to the Korean in the second. But look at this, 7 points apiece.
7-8.
Much more of a contest now in the third.
Yang Liu feels robbed. Look at that for a shot out of the crossover from Seohyewon. Abbreviated stroke. Yang Liu got her into a good position. Oh, and it catches the edge.
9-7.
Again, smart play. She did it early on in the match with the wide serves and then push into the other corner. Shouldn't have to hit the ball hard to win the rally. Doesn't have to overcomplicate it.
8-10.
2 game points then for Seo Hyun-won. What kind of response can we expect from Yang Zi-leo?
She has the serves. Will she serve wide? Will she serve long? What's the plan on the third ball? Let's see.
Well, she didn't have much of a response to that one. 11 points to 8. Seo Hyun-won takes a 2-1 lead in this women's singles round of 32.
Just dropping the bat a little bit too much here, Yang Zi-leo. That first one that comes back, if it's
packed. This is a must-win game now, though, for Yang Zi-leo.
Love 1.
quite a reactive player. Very expressive, Yang Zi-leo. Easy to tell how she feels about the point that's just been played.
And that's easy for the opponent, isn't it? Because you know if you've got under somebody's skin.
Time out.
First time out then of the match, perhaps. Unsurprising phrase that it's come at the very beginning of this must-win game for her. It's not been the start that she needed.
No, it's slipping through her fingers here.
Been saying.
I heard a little bit. I think he was saying you're controlling this match more than you may feel right now. And
3 love.
yeah, he was saying, look, you know, those high ones, they're the ones that we've been sort of trying to home in on in practice. Got to come through it with your body there. You can try and hit the ball hard, but you still have to have an element of rotation to your stroke to get that security, that arc required.
Now 5.
But look, the timeout hasn't really come into fruition.
Six love.
Double bouncer, what a length there from Seo.
Seven love.
Well, how about this, Fraser? 7 points to the good, Seo Hyun-won. Of course, a must-win for the Australian. How does she come back from 8 points down? Can she come back from 8 points down? Psychologically, she's got a mountain to climb.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult now, Rebecca.
1-8.
Threatening to dust her up. Could be a bit of a demolition job here. I just feel like she just struggled to pass the test of time. She started so well, she played so freely. I think that maybe after going 1-0 up, she sort of stopped and thought about it maybe a little bit too much. But credit to Seo Hyun-won, she's really tightened things up in the right areas.
Nine, 2.
I remember watching Seo Hyun-won, the star contender in Lanzhou. She even took Sun Ying-sha to the 5th and final game, so that really shows you how good she can play.
Yeah, there's not many who've got that honour.
2-10.
8 match points now for the world number 22. This to seal her place in the round of 16.
3-10.
Oh, she'll be made to wait a little bit longer.
11-3.
Seo Hyun-won clenches a fist in celebration as she wins the 4th game in impressive fashion. A 3-1 win for Seo Hyun-won over Yang Zi-leo in their very first WTT level meeting. She's safely through to the round of 16, where life doesn't get any easier. She'll be playing the winner of Wang Yidi, the number 3 seed. She's taking on Mima Ito a little bit later on, so that is who So Hyewon will be facing next, but congratulations indeed to her. That was a good recovery from 3-11 down in the opening game to wrap it up in impressive fashion at the end, a completely one-sided fourth game.
Yeah, the experience shining through. You can really see why she was a top 10 star in her heyday. Amazing that she's still playing at this level. Just had the recipes there required after Yang Sileo showed that she wasn't suffering from any kind of imposter syndrome here, despite not having the best record at champions level.